The Bonneville Shoreline Trail has been under construction for 30 years. Join me, Brandon Plewe, and my son Spencer as we hike the 200-mile length of the BST to learn about its past, present, and future, and explore the landscape of this boundary between the city and the wilderness. Well, we're picking up the trail here at the Bountiful B on what looks like a very popular fall day. As we said last time, we have to skip a bit here. There's a significant gap in the trail here and will be for the foreseeable future. Davis County actually set up two options here. One is to come over this ridge and then switch back down to this point. The other one is to stay high and then come down Ward Canyon where there's an existing trail there. Both of those have some significant obstacles. So for now, if you want to connect, you'd need to come down the road there past the temple, and there's a little short connector trail here. But for us, we're headed that way. Well, we're trying to figure out where to start here. You can see this trail just kind of like starts here out of nowhere. We're parked just right up over this hill, so I don't know why this isn't done yet. And I'm not sure what's going on here. This is just a trench that was dug in. I'm not even sure this is a trail yet. Generally, you wouldn't want to do a trench like this. That's a bad erosion problem, but we'll see where it goes. Well, this is only getting worse. You can see that this is just turning into a ditch here. And clearly it looks like it's been abandoned. Nobody's using it and the weeds are growing back in. But it looks like there's another trail, another upper trail. And so even though this is actually on the maps on Davis County's plan as the official Bonneville Shoreline Trail, it looks like people are using that other one up more often. So we're gonna go take that other route. Oh yeah, there's a real trail. Okay. There's a sign, although I think everything's worn off of it, but this is the way we'll go. Other than being next to the gun range there, this is actually a pretty nice trail. It's in reasonably good shape, trenched in a couple of places a little bit, but if it's not the Bonneville Shoreline Trail officially, it should be. Looks like there was a fire here not too long ago. Looks like 4 or 5 years, but the oak is growing back quickly, and in the meantime, it's kind of a really nice grassy meadow here. I believe that was probably the trail once. Yeah. It's just. Wait, I think we want to go left here. Oh, look at that! Clearly, that that other trail that we didn't take is supposed to be the official Bonneville Shoreline Trail. So it looks really nice here, but it was completely abandoned up at the top there. So I don't know what the deal is. We'll have to ask about that. That stretch of single track trail there was pretty nice, but most of today's hike, we're going to be on this old road here, sharing it with dirt bikes and side-by-sides. This is a typical version 1 of the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. Just we have this nice corridor at hand, and why not designate it? And that's what they did back in the late 90s. Davis County and the Forest Service were able to designate this whole stretch of trail here. Forest Service and the county have plans in a lot of these areas to move the trail further up. You can actually see that the bench itself is actually up there a little ways. In this area, they're probably not, because That's all private property up there, but in a lot of these areas that we'll see, they have plans to do that. But they were focusing on that area we were doing in the last episode. So some of these reroutes up here will be coming up in the next few years. Great view out there of Farmington Bay, all those ponds. That area, all of the shoreline of the Great Salt Lake has always been a very important place for migratory birds. If you ever get a chance to come up here in January, great viewing of bald eagles up here. The problem is that the Great Salt Lake fluctuates so much. I mean, right now, the lake's at an all-time low, and all I can see out there between us is essentially an extension of the Jordan River. That really hurts those wetlands. So what they did is back in the 30s, the Civilian Conservation Corps, which was an organization set up as part of the New Deal to employ young people to do things relating to resource conservation. They came out here and built all of these dikes. So there's all these linear dams or dikes built out in there that basically constructed these wetland areas to keep them permanent and to keep them fresh water instead of salt water. So now we have all these wetlands, and eventually it was all made into a state park. But that's a great area to go out there. You can actually go out and hike or ride on those dikes and see wild birds, or hunt them, I guess, depending on the birds. This is one of the first places that they're planning on having the trail stay up higher, up on the bench more, and more in a natural area. However, for the time being, I can see there's a trail there, but it's marked as no trespassing, so we'll obey the sign and continue on the old road here. Easily one of the most amazing things about this whole journey we've done is just how many of these beautiful little creeks we've passed. Dozens of them that we've passed. Really nice and beautiful up here, and disappear into pipes when they get down into the valley and we don't even know they're here. One of the things I really like about the trail here in the central Davis County is because the town is so low. I mean, it's at the level of the Great Salt Lake, so it's as low as we get along the whole Wasatch Front, and then it rises rather abruptly up to the mountains. We're actually not even on the shoreline. The actual high shoreline is 300 feet above us here, and yet there's no houses encroaching on us up here. We are in a natural area without having to go that high compared to that last episode where we're way up above the Bonneville shoreline. So even though we're on this road, really nice view and terrain. Looks like construction is progressing on the West Davis Expressway out there. They've planned that for years to put that highway branching off of I-15 down here in Farmington and going all the way up, kind of on the edge of the development there, all the way up into Syracuse and West Point, and maybe eventually reaching into Weber County. But it took them so long to get around to it that originally it was supposed to be a lot further north up there at the end of Highway 89 branching off. And they had a corridor set aside, but it took them so long to get around to it that Kaysville and Farmington had let development kind of encroach on the corridor, so it was so narrow that they decided they couldn't get a highway through it, and they had to replan the whole thing and are now bringing it further south down here, but well under construction now. Oh, map. Yay, maps. Oh. Well, that's odd. That's showing all the online maps, and all the sources I have say that this is supposed to be the official Bonneville Shoreline Trail. But this, which is there, this is showing another route that stays down around below there, which might actually be a preferable route because we had to climb up here Now we got to go straight back down to the trailhead. And that other route might stay lower, but too tired now to explore it. So we're gonna call it a day here. In our next episode, we'll continue on past Farmington here.